What truly happened during the 18 silent years that the Bible does not record about Jesus? This question has become one of the greatest mysteries in religious history, sparking endless curiosity among believers and scholars alike. From the time he was a young boy at the temple in Jerusalem until his return at the age of 30 to begin preaching and performing miracles, the entire period remains unaccounted for. This silence has given birth to countless shocking theories. Could it be that Jesus actually performed hidden miracles during those lost years? Some writings outside the Bible and many ancient traditions suggest that he did not simply remain in his hometown of Nazareth, but traveled far beyond what we might imagine. Certain theories claim that Jesus set foot in mystical lands where medicine and spirituality had reached remarkable heights. There, he might have been taught secret wisdom and practiced powers that defied human understanding. Stories whisper that he could heal the sick with a mere touch, or even transform matter before witnesses' very eyes. If such miracles truly occurred, why were they left out of the official texts? Who guarded these secrets for thousands of years? The image of a young man leaving behind his humble village in search of truth, crossing mountains and deserts, and stepping into foreign lands, ignites the imagination. Tales speak of him meeting wise mystics, participating in sacred rituals, and witnessing supernatural events firsthand. Some say he made the lame walk, gave sight to the blind, or even turned a lifeless seed into a living green shoot in an instant. None of these accounts appear in the canonical Gospels, yet curiously, they surface in scattered folklore from different parts of the world. The curiosity deepens with the testimonies of certain Western travelers in the 19th century who claimed to have discovered ancient manuscripts in remote monasteries. These texts allegedly spoke of a young man from the West possessing extraordinary healing powers. To those travelers, the description seemed too strikingly similar to be anyone other than Jesus during his missing years. But was this truly evidence long concealed, or merely a fabrication born of wishful thinking? Could it be that humanity has been denied access to a chapter of history that might radically reshape our understanding of who Jesus really was? Imagine the ripple effect if such stories were ever proven true. The Jesus the world knows, the preacher, the healer, the miracle worker, would suddenly appear not as a man who began his ministry at 30, but as someone who had already been practicing divine power in secret for nearly 2 decades. This possibility raises both awe and unease, or because of the miracles themselves, unease because of the silence that surrounds them. What force or whose hand ensured that such accounts never entered the official record? Some suggest that the missing years were deliberately left out to preserve the focus on Jesus' public ministry and his ultimate sacrifice. Others wonder if the miracles attributed to him in this hidden period were too extraordinary, too controversial to be preserved by early church authorities. And yet, the human heart cannot help but ask, if he indeed performed wonders during those years, how many lives did he change in places we may never know? How many eyes saw what the world was never meant to see? This is only the beginning of the enigma. The more one digs into the silence of those 18 years, the more it feels less like an empty gap in history, and more like a deliberate mystery, one that could alter the way humanity perceives the life of Jesus. What if the lost years hold a secret so powerful it could challenge everything we thought we knew? There is one theory that sends shivers down the spine of anyone who hears it. During the 18 missing years, Jesus may have set foot in ancient India. In Buddhist texts and traditions, there are references to a remarkable young man from the West, known as Issa, who was said to have studied spiritual teachings, meditation, and even healing methods from Eastern masters. If this theory holds true, then perhaps the miracles he performed later were not only the result of divine revelation, but also the blending of sacred knowledge he acquired in those distant lands. Picture the scene. A young Jesus, dressed in simple robes, walking thousands of miles along dusty paths, crossing the mighty Himalayas, determined to seek wisdom. He arrives at ancient temples hidden among the clouds, where monks dedicate their lives to prayer and meditation. It is said that there he learned to master the breath, to understand the link between soul and body, and to witness first-hand healing rituals that modern science still struggles to explain. This might be the key to why, upon returning home, he astonished crowds with miracles beyond human comprehension. Even more astonishing are claims found in certain old manuscripts, which suggest that he not only learned but also began practicing and revealing his extraordinary powers there. Stories tell of a wounded child who rose healthy again after Jesus laid his hand upon him, or of a blind man whose eyes opened after a simple prayer. If such accounts were real, then miracles were not first witnessed in Palestine, but long before, in a land thousands of miles away. Of course, many scholars remain skeptical, dismissing these stories as coincidences or folklore. But then the question lingers: why is there such a striking similarity between Isa in Eastern texts and Jesus in the Gospels? How could these accounts align so closely if they were not pointing to the same figure? It is this strange resemblance that keeps the mystery alive and unresolved. Generation after generation, here lies something even more fascinating. The history of Jesus may not be as closed and confined as we once thought. Instead, it stretches out into many different directions, inviting endless exploration. The further we dig, the more we encounter theories powerful enough to shake the foundations of belief. Could it be that the 18 hidden years of Jesus left a footprint not only in Palestine but also in India and distant lands that most people never connect to him? If you are curious and have your own thoughts, why not share them in the comments below? Where do you believe Jesus truly went during those missing years? Your perspective might open a whole new doorway for others watching this journey with us. And don't forget to click like, so we can continue unfolding this mystery together and bring to light the untold stories of Jesus' lost years. Because the story does not end here. In the next revelations, we will uncover even more astonishing theories, ones that may forever change the way you see the history and miracles of Jesus. There is another theory, one even more shocking. During his 18 missing years, Jesus may have traveled to Egypt, a land renowned for its ancient secrets, towering pyramids, and mystical wisdom that still baffles the modern world. Many believe that in Egypt there existed schools of esoteric knowledge, where priests and sages studied the mysteries of life, death, and even immortality. Could it be that Jesus once walked among them, learning truths far beyond human comprehension, and later transforming that knowledge into the foundation of his miracles? Picture Jesus walking through the long corridors of sacred temples, where the dim torchlight cast shadows on walls inscribed with enigmatic symbols. Here, he may have witnessed healing rituals performed with sound, light, and rare herbs, found only along the fertile banks of the Nile. Perhaps it was in those moments that he discovered not just how to heal the body, but how to touch the soul itself. This could explain why later in his ministry, he was able to restore sight to the blind, strength to the crippled, and hope to the hopeless in ways that left crowds awestruck. Even more intriguing are the claims of explorers, who spoke of ancient manuscripts, mentioning a young man from afar, residing in Egyptian monasteries. These texts describe him as a seeker of sacred arts, one who studied healing practices and spiritual awakening. To some, the parallels were unmistakable. This mysterious young man could only have been Jesus during his lost years. If this theory is true, then his miracles were not only the manifestation of divine power, but also the fruit of wisdom preserved for millennia in the land of the pharaohs. Yet, not everyone accepts this possibility. Skeptics argue that associating Jesus with Egyptian mysticism is nothing more than an imaginative construction. But if it were only fiction, why do so many cultures carry stories that mirror each other? Stories that point to a figure uncannily similar to Jesus. This strange convergence fuels curiosity rather than extinguishes it. What is even more striking is how the miracles of Jesus' healing, resurrection, and eternal life resonate with the very themes central to Egyptian rituals. Could this be coincidence, or a hidden thread connecting his story to a tradition much older than the Gospels? The more we look, the harder it becomes to dismiss the possibility that Egypt played a crucial role in shaping the hidden years of Jesus. If you are still watching, perhaps you too are beginning to wonder, did official history intentionally omit something, carefully shaping an image of Jesus that focused only on his public ministry? And if, one day, irrefutable evidence were uncovered, would it completely transform the way humanity perceives him? The deeper we go into this enigma, the more it feels like peeling away layers of a mystery that has been guarded for centuries. And yet, what we have seen so far is not the end, for in the next stage of our journey, we will confront a theory even more astonishing, one that might make you question whether what we know about Jesus is truly the full story. Among the most astonishing theories about the 18 lost years of Jesus is the possibility that he traveled even farther than Egypt or India, perhaps as far as the distant lands of Tibet, or regions that would later become part of Europe. Some legends whisper of a teacher who appeared in remote villages, bringing wisdom and healing powers that no one could explain. These stories describe a man unlike any other, whose presence left an imprint so deep that people remembered him long after he was gone. Could it be that Jesus' journey was not confined to a single place, but spanned across cultures and continents, leaving fragments of his legacy scattered throughout history? Imagine the young Jesus moving through snow-covered mountains, speaking with sages in hidden monasteries, or sitting among philosophers debating the meaning of life and eternity. Each encounter could have sharpened his understanding, deepened his compassion, and prepared him for the extraordinary mission that awaited him back home. These lost years, rather than being silent, may have been the most formative and transformative chapter of his life. But here lies the ultimate mystery. If Jesus truly performed miracles during those years, why were they never recorded in the canonical Gospels? Was it a conscious choice by early church leaders to keep the focus on his public ministry, his teachings, and his sacrifice? Or was there something so profound, so disruptive, that it was deliberately left out to preserve the faith in its simplest form? The very thought is both thrilling and unsettling. What if, hidden in dusty manuscripts or buried in forgotten ruins, there lies evidence of a Jesus far more traveled, far more experienced than we have ever imagined? Would such a discovery strengthen the faith of millions or shake it to its core? In the end, perhaps the silence of those 18 years was intentional. Perhaps it was meant to draw us into the mystery, to remind us that faith is not only about what we know, but also about what we do not know. Jesus' lost years invite us to wonder, to seek, and to realize that his life, whether in Nazareth, Egypt, India, or beyond, remains a profound testament to the search for truth and the power of divine love. If this journey into the hidden years of Jesus has sparked your curiosity, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Where do you believe he went? What do you think he learned? Share your perspective in the comments below. It may inspire others who are also searching for answers. And if you found this story meaningful, don't forget to gently press the like button and subscribe, so together we can continue uncovering more mysteries and untold stories from history.